I have a friend that took the vaccine,
Mm-hmm.
and he mentioned that he had some side effects. That it was just it was minimal. It was like body aches. His body. It's like there was this high blood pressure, right? I was
Yeah.
taking some meds, right, and they changed it on me. The doctor said, "Hey, the one that you're," because I want to go see a cardiologist because um I'm not gonna lie, I was like kind of addicted to pre-workout, right? And I used to take that. And pre-workout is a powder or supplement that you take to get you, pumped up to go work out. And I
Mm-hmm.
started taking it, and you felt that tingle, and you get that pump, and then I just started taking it even when I didn't work out. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I became kind of dependent on it in the morning. I would take every morning. I would take a little, some pre-workout orange juice, Metamucil, and boom, drink it, and I'd go to the bathroom right away, and then I'd feel like good, and I'd go start my day. It's like a cup of coffee to me.
Yeah.
And then by around 2:33, I was like really dragging. I needed like an energy drink. So after about 3 years of doing that every day, I kind of like I said I need to stop, man.
Mm-hmm.
I need to stop doing this. And so I decided to just go cold turkey one day, right? And I had never ever um, felt any withdrawal symptoms like the withdrawal symptoms that I had, because I've withdrawn from alcohol, hard drugs as well. When I went to rehab, but the withdrawals from pre workout were the worst I have ever experienced.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting a tightness in my chest, lethargic. I felt body aches. I had
Headaches.
palpitations, headaches, breathing issues. I mean, it was like I was freaking out. I was like, so then I finally got past the withdrawals of it, right?
Yes.
And then I started, feeling a little, weird, and I'm laying in bed, and Riley is touching my wrist, and she's like checking out my pulse, and she goes, just nomás de repente, she would just held my wrist, and you could feel my pulse, and she goes, you have a pause in your pulse. And I was like, really? I've always felt kind of weird like that, but I didn't know. And it was weird because we are watching that show. What's the name of that girl? Tardy or whatever. With
Um.
that lady with the blonde wigs.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't be
Double
tardy.
tardy. Yeah, that's
What's her name?
Kim Zolciak
Kim
Bierman.
Zolciak.
Yeah.
And she was talking about she was having heart issues.
Mm-hmm.
So then I said, you know what? I'm going to go get a checkup. I went to my doctor, and they gave me an EKG, right?
Yes.
And I laid down. Everything was, came out, the blood and the urine and all that stuff came out great. And then they gave me the EKG. They lay me down, and they put some, little stickers with wires and shit. And then they do it, and then the paper comes out. The girl goes out and shows it to the PA, and she comes back, and she says, we're going to do it again. I'm like, okay, some shit's going down,
Uh-oh.
man.
Yeah.
So then she did it again, and she gets the paper. She takes off to the other room, comes back. We're going to do it one more time.
So
And
this
I'm
is the
like,
third time.
yeah, this is the third time. So I'm
Oh
like,
my
okay,
goodness.
something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So then I said, is there something going on? She goes, well, I can't discuss that with you. The doctor does that. And I said, okay. So they tried it again. And then the doc comes in, Palacios, Salud pa Palacios, ahí en Iglesias in San Juan.
Hi.
He says, Rock, chinga, there's something going on, man, with your heart rate. It's nothing like a clogged artery or nothing. It's like electrical. So we're going to send you to a cardiologist, okay? And then you go see the cardiologist. He's going to check you up, and he's going to, tell you what you need. The worst is you might need a pacemaker. And I'm like, what? Oh, man, I was like, forget about it. I don't want no heart. And this is because, and I thought about it because I've had, I have a history of cocaine and alcohol and drugs and pills and and then the pre-workout. And I think when I got hooked on the pre-workout, it's because it was like, and I felt like, I felt like okay with it because it was an over-the-counter thing. It's nothing illegal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay. So then I went to the cardiologist, right? And he said, okay, well, we're gonna put this monitor on you, and you're gonna wear it 24 hours, and we're gonna check your heart rate throughout the night and day. And then when you come back, we're gonna give you a stress test which is when you get on a treadmill, and I'll tell you about that in a bit. So then I went back and I returned the heart monitor, and they said, okay, you got to come back in 2 days for the stress test. Okay, so I went back 2 days later, and I did the stress test. I don't know if any of you have ever taken a stress test, but what they do is they put you on a treadmill, right?
Yes.
And every 2 minutes they speed it up and they lift it up, right? And you do
At an
5
incline.
levels. Yeah, 5 levels. They incline it. So I did all 5 levels, man. But at the end, I was like, but I finished all the 5 levels. And I was 52, I guess, back then. When
At that
happened.
time,
51,
yes.
52.
Yes.
So then I said, okay. So then I sat down. I was catching my breath, and she goes, okay, well, you're gonna go. We're gonna give you so you can come talk to Changlani. That's just Dr. Changlani. That's my cardiologist here in McAllen. You can come see him next week. I said, okay. So then I left, and I came back the following week, and he sat me down. And I put my phone to record because I needed to, remember what the hell he tells me. Because then I come home and Riley says, ¿Qué te dijo? Pues chinga, me olvidó.
Yep.
So then he tells me, first of all, you finished all the 5 levels of the stress test, and that's very impressive. It's very impressive. Porque la tabla medio, indio así, ¿verdad? It's very impressive. Not many people finish the stress test, we have 30-year-olds that can't finish it, and you're 52 and you could finish it. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So that tells us that your heart is capable of strenuous workout, strenuous stuff. I said, okay, cool. I do go to the gym and that stuff, and I try to stay healthy, right? And then he says, okay, but your blood pressure, your heart rate, we saw that at 2 o'clock, 2 in the morning, it gets down to like 35, and that's low. But that usually happens with people that are active. I said, oh, okay. And then you do have like a half a second to a second pause in your heart rate, and that is also something that happens with people that are active, so it's nothing dangerous. I said, oh, okay, well, cool. But your blood pressure, you're taking medication. I said, yeah, I'm taking medication. I even forgot what Losartan was what I was taking, I think. And I said, yeah, it's a small dose, 10 milligrams or something like that. And I said, yeah, take some Losartan, right? But he goes, well, that's a generic form. You need something that's going to, work 24 hours. And I was like, no wonder, because I take it in the morning, and by the afternoon, my blood pressure would be like 135, 145 over 90, 85. So I was always like, man, why is it so high? I'm taking my meds, right? I mean,
yes.
So he says, I'm going to give you olmesartan. And I said, okay. He says, now you're going to have to stay away from fast food. And I said, well, Shinga, I only eat out once a day, dude. I mean, I cook all my meals. I go home after I finish work. I eat the meals at work, and then I come home, and on the way home, I pick up something fast, and then I get home, and we have dinner, me and my wife. And he turns around, he goes, you eat out once a day? I go, yeah. That's too much.
Oh, my
I'm like, what? That's too much once a day. That's too much sodium. I'm like, are you kidding me? He goes, no, I'm not kidding you. He goes, you need to eat out once a week, not once a day. I said, man, and all I could think right there, what about the people that eat like, fast food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, man. And I was like, so I said, okay, well, I'll stop. And so he gave me that olmesartan, and I took it, we're talking about side effects, right? And I took the olmesartan, and I started getting, like sweaty armpits, and I started feeling anxious. And I remember I would call you, or you'd call me at 3:30 at work, and I was working afternoons, and she goes, what's going on? I go, I don't know. I'm just anxious. I'm anxious. And I don't know why. And so this guy that I used to work out with at the gym showed up because they were giving them a tour of the studios. And he goes in, and I go, hey, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, man, I went to the cardiologist, and, he gave me some olmesartan now. And he goes, oh, yeah? Are you getting anxious? I go, dude, how did you know? He goes, that medication gives you anxiety, dude. I'm like, wow, dude, I didn't even know that. And so what I did, I had started taking half of it in the morning and half of it at night. And I slowly weaned myself into that medication, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I started feeling a lot better, and I stopped getting anxious. And my blood pressure, I'd wake up in the morning, and I was at 108 over 82, And I would text it to my friend, from Dr. T's, right? And he'd say, well, that's great, And that's
108?
Yeah, I was like 108,
Super low.
115. No, but I feel fine.
Wow.
And I was like, I got enough room for unos dos tazas de café, papá.
Oh, my goodness.
So, anyway, going back to, so we're talking about the side effects for the vaccine, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the COVID vaccine. There's going to be some side effects. And, but it's some of those that they'll eventually, your body just has to absorb the medication, and it has to, just get used to it. You know what I mean? Or just be able to, get it. And, by the way, another thing I'm saying, I'm going to tell you all about the fast food. When the cardiologist told me once a week, I said, okay, está bueno. I'm going to stop picking up food in the afternoon and the evening. From that Tuesday that he told me to the following Tuesday, I lost 12 pounds. Yep. I lost freaking 12 pounds just by not eating out for those 12 days. So I'm assuming that the sodium that my body was intaking every single day was holding in a lot of water. And in those 12 days that I was eating clean, and I was cooking here at the house, and we were eating here, and I ended up losing freaking 12 pounds and not even working out. It was just like I was shocked when I went back to the, get weighed and stuff. It was crazy, but just a little story that I had there for all of you that, might end up having to go through some issues and stuff like that. Sometimes you might want to check the side effects of a medication when they're given to you. That's what I learned that time. I said, from now on, when I get a medication, I'm going to look for it on online and check what kind of side effects they have, because that kid knew about it. The guy from the gym, he knew that that medication was giving me that side effect. Crazy.
Yes.
So the vaccine is out, folks.